Today is a concluding session of 5 days webinar over forensic document examination. And topic given to me is forensic document examination, scientific credibility and evidential value. Friends, this is very appropriate and relevant topic given to me. Actually, it is a very burning topic. It is quite associated with the existence of this science, reputation of this science, and you can say the veracity of this science. Friends, over 3 decades of my tenure as document examiner in the Question Document Laboratory, Bhopal, and a document witness, I appeared in many courts of Madhya Pradesh state. I came across with number of questions where people asked me very innocently the basic questions about the document science or the document evidence. They have a lot of confusions and misconceptions about the science, about the evidence. They generally ask me, please tell me, is handwriting science is really a science? Or the report of document expert is really a scientific report? Third, to which extent we rely upon the expert's opinion, or whether it is acceptable by the scientific fraternity or it is acceptable in the scientific scenario? To which degree it is admissible by the court of law? On the sole basis of document expert's report, conviction can be given? What is the legal status of the document and document expert's report? What are the chances of errors in the report? Is the expert infallible? And the handwriting science, ultimately they conclude with this comment that handwriting science is not a science. Friends, there are many reasons behind these queries and questions. To go in details, we have to see the documents, its status, its contents, its nature, the limit of document expert, what are the confusion and misconception prevailing over the society, and what principal procedures and techniques we use. Just a minute. No, it is not sliding. See, the forensic document science and its examination procedure is often placed under the suspicion or the finding of the examiner is underestimated. On the ground of examination process, techniques used in examination of question documents, efforts and energy to win the trust of various people and agencies of criminal justice system about reliability and the scientific credibility of handwriting science and its evidence. During expert testimony in the court of law, he faced many questions from the defense counsel which create suspicion about evidential value of document. These questions are generally raised on baseless grounds to derogate the status of forensic document science and admissibility of evidence. See, most of the time, defense counsel try to make an unhealthy comparison of handwriting science with the science of fingerprints in order to establish that the handwriting examiner's opinion is not as perfect as the opinion of fingerprint experts. I think many experts of this science faces this question very frequently in the court of law by the defense lawyer. In my personal view, what I am thinking at my personal level, that there is no two sciences comparable. You cannot compare two sciences because each science has its own principle, each science has its own parameters, it has its procedure and limitations also. Within the limit, every science is a perfect science and gives definite opinion. So if this question is asked to me before the honorable judge in the courtroom, there is no chances for an expert to do the counter question with the defense lawyer. So I just asked, please clear the question, because giving the answer in yes and no, in both cases it is incorrect. If you admit that handwriting science is not as perfect as the fingerprint science, it means you are not just justifying your report, you are not justifying your science, you are not justifying your evidence. And if you deny, so immediately the defense counsel place a citation in which it is cited that fingerprint is perfect science. So I am just asking, please clear me in what context you are asking this question. If you are asking in terms of giving the definite opinion in number of cases, I am agree. Why? I am giving you an example. If 100 case related with the handwriting identification or handwriting examination referred to a document laboratory or to a document expert, he may be able to give opinion 70 to 80% cases, he can able to give the definite opinion. I am talking in a general way. I am not giving perfect statistical data. In my experience of examination of question documents, I think that over 70 to 80% cases we are able to give the definite opinion because there is sufficient data, there is sufficient identifying value in the documents, and there are sufficient comparison material, so we can able to give the definite opinion. But in remaining part, into near about in 20% cases, we are not able to give the definite opinion just because of paucity of the comparison material or otherwise. We give we are not able to give definite opinion in this in these cases. We give opinion, what you can say, the qualified opinion, observations, or simply an opinion. On the other hand, if you send 100 cases to a fingerprint laboratory for examination of fingerprints, fingerprints expert can give the definite opinion in more than 90% cases, or you can more than 95% cases. So if the question is asking in this context, I am agree that the fingerprint is perfect in this sense. But if the question is asking in term of giving in term of correctness, I am not agree, because as a document expert, when we are 101% sure, then only we give the 100% opinion. Otherwise, we just give the qualified opinion or reserve opinion. And in my view, that the first and foremost condition for an expert to realize his limit or realize the limit of his science. To assess the real status of document as a legal and a technical exhibit, it is necessary to take the real account of potentiality of content of document, like writing, paper, pen, etc., and their scientific nature. See, if we are having the in documents, there is pen, there is writing. We use writing instrument, we use writing surface, we use writing or script. All these constituent parts giving so many scientific data. To analyze this scientific data, we use scientific procedures, and when we use scientific procedure, we come out with the scientific findings. Now, so what is document? It is better to go to the definition because we want to know what are the contents of the document. The document means any matter expressed upon any surface by means of letter, figures, marks, or by more than two of those means for purpose of recording that matter. In broader sense of definition, the word document covers extensive range of writing surface, vary from paper to cloth, plastic, polythene, wall, floor, skin, mirror, stone, stem, etc. Similarly, writing instrument is also ranging widely from conventional pen to the chalk, coal or khadiya you can say. And question document, if suspicion is raised about the genuineness of document, including writing, signature, source, or any constituent part of document, that becomes question document. It is very necessary to see the scientific status. As I told you, the document itself has number of constituents which is scientific in nature, which it gives the data which is very much scientific. Then only we give the scientific opinion and definite opinion. See, basically the handwriting is a scientific phenomena. Handwriting is an expression of your views in letter form, and handwriting is known as medically handwriting is known as brain writing. It is also termed as neuromuscular coordination. It is an intrinsic, invisible biological phenomena in which the writing impression is stored in our brain, release writing signals in coordination with nerves and hand muscles. These invisible writing signals finally appear on the writing surface. The whole process is scientific in nature and unique to an individual. See, as I told you that the handwriting is totally a scientific phenomena. It is invisible. You can say it is an invisible biological phenomena. It has the two part. One part is invisible, which is analyzed inside our body, and the other part is the paper or the writing surface where the writing appears. So we have the two parts in writing. First is you can say software, and second you can say the hardware. So in the software parts, the writing is originated from our brain, and ability, function, capability, grasping power, recording power, analysis power of analysis of every person, a brain of every person has different from the other person. So brain releases the writing signals, which is transmitted by the nervous system of our hand, and finally it reaches to the final destination, that is our hand, where we using the muscles of finger and thumbs, and with their coordination we are able to write on paper, and this writing having lot of individuality of your own. See that this is the very much important part of this session. It is variation. See, variation in handwriting is bound to occur. You will find that every time you have a slight variation in your writing. So as a product of neuromuscular coordination, handwriting shows variation in execution and formation of writing characters in every repeated efforts of writing. Being a biological phenomena, variation in handwriting are bound to occur, but these variations are defined very clearly and beyond doubt during examination of question writing and their comparison with the standard writing. These variations are called natural variations and occur in the handwriting of the same individual. See, this is the natural variation. Now these variations are exaggerated by some internal and external factors. And what are these internal factors? Actually, condition of the writer, the internal condition of the writer. If the mental, it's depend upon the mental condition of the writer, physical condition of the writer, emotional condition of the writer, biological condition of the writer, and the psychological condition. find out or to differentiate whether these variations are because of natural variation, or these are the unnatural variation, or these whether this is circumstantial or outcome of criminal act. See, the causes responsible for underestimation of document size. This is an important discussion. I am going with you with this discussion. See, we live in society and we have a lot of impact of society in our subconscious brain or in our personality. Generally, society transpired some very adverse, impression about the handwriting. What they are thinking, a common man think that handwriting is not at all reliable, the handwriting is not at all accurate, and nobody can be identified by analyzing the data. So society has this type of confusion in their own, and it is transpired to the every man of the society, and we are having that wrong impressions right from the childhood. So we are taking for granted, and sometimes we are doing something very carelessly or casually with the handwriting, like making our signature from the different hand, and we believe that I will not be identified. And sometimes we put the signature of our friend in the attendance register by thinking or by misconception that we cannot be identified by the any examination, and he has to face the consequences, because in every effort you may be identified by the handwriting analysis. So what is the confusion? If you have insufficient knowledge, if you have incomplete knowledge, or you have some irrelevant knowledge, then it creates confusion. And if confusion prevailed for a long, it becomes misconception. So in society, these confusions and misconceptions are prevailing, and we are abide by these. Sometimes we are abide by these confusions. So I will tell you what are the confusions. First, if you first is that two signature is not same. You put your signature to into number in various number. You put your signature 2, 400, 200, 500, whatever you like. You put your signature. You put your signature on the paper, and you will not find out of 500 or out of 100 your own signature that two signature will get perfectly superimposed or geometrically they will not find identical. So what confusion created in society or in the brain of the common man? Person think that if the two signature of the same individual is different, they use word different. But we are taking it as a variation or natural variation. But from the point of view of a common people, I am telling you, the common people think that if the two signature of the same individual is different, then how can an expert say that these two different signature is a work of the same individual, or it is the work of the two different individuals? Now, second, you see a very petty confusion ultimately make a big jolt or big, you can say, adverse impact to whole science and the whole evidence. I am telling you an example. First of all, I am clear that this definition that handwriting is a visual expression of your views in letter form. But in the from the common man, what a common man think about the handwriting? What is handwriting from his point of view? It is a collection of words, group of words. The unit of word is letter, and letter is a design, or you can say a formation, which is being made by the hand. That's why it is a handiwork, and that is why it is an art. Up to that extent, I have no objection. I accept it, because art is also conclusive, and to some extent we are using art also. But when we go further, when the society go further, the whole journey is become negative, and they deny the contribution of science in the handwriting. What they think? They think if it is an art, it means it is no longer a science. The handwriting is no longer a science. It has no scientific base. It has no credibility. It has no reliability. It is not reliable. Handwriting is not acceptable. So that's why it is not admissible in the court of law. And if it is not admissible in court of law, so our investigation getting agencies start thinking, if the evidence of handwriting science is not admissible by the courts, so what is the use of handwriting examination in the in our cases of investigation of crime? See, people say that the legal status of document expert finding is it is weak in nature and it should be corroborated by some other evidences also, then only it should be considered as evidence. Friends, it is not true. I will show you, if I have some time, on the sole basis of document experts finding, conviction were given. So the next confusion in society, left hand, right hand. You can say the writing of left hand and right hand. If a person is used to write with right hand, if he write with left hand, he will not be identified, and vice versa. And another two confusions in the brain of the common man, that I can change completely our own writing style, or I can adopt completely the writing style of other person. This is all misconception. It is not true. Now, other reasons. See, we live in society. There are many agencies of criminal justice system working for justice. So a group of people is belongs. They are advocate. So with due respect to my they oppose our opinion, but I can understand their constraint because they are professional compulsion to they are under professional compulsion to oppose our opinion if they want to succeed. Second, misinterpretation of order. See, the order of honorable courts is somewhat in legal, having so many legal terms, and it is not, easy for a common man to interpret in a right sense. So sometimes they make they have no proper qualification, experience, training, consultancy, lab, and even laboratory facilities. Sometimes the controversial opinion given by them, this create confusion about whole science and evidence. But remember, exception cannot become a rule, or you cannot blame the whole science a single flaw. Now some limitations we have with our science, that our findings is less demonstrative, because we cannot demonstrate our findings. It is not tangible, so people generally not believing easily. Now the whole process is invisible, nothing is tangible, so people are raising doubt and experiment and conclusion by a layman. I want to elaborate this point also. See, many question. Why many question asking only about the handwriting science? Why not for the ballistic science, physics, or chemistry? In my view, the basic need of basic things needed for writing, it's very cheaper and easily available to all of us, to a common man too. You see, the pen, paper is easily available, and he can able to write the things. So he may make so number of experiments with the handwriting. He write from the left. He can write from the right, and can compare, and on the basis of incomplete or immature decisions, they challenge the finding of document expert. See, difference between the natural variation and the fundamental divergences is very necessary. As I told you, the variation is handwriting. See, differentiation between natural variation and fundamental divergences is very necessary, and the core area of examination of question document. Those who fails to distinguish the difference between them often raise the finger of suspicion on the expert's finding. The people blame that handwriting science is not a developed science. See, again, this is a point. This is a good. There is a good point of discussion. People say that handwriting science is not a developed science. We say that we are a developing science. We are a progressive science. I can give an example to justify this thing. See, in 1969, the aeronautic science reached to the moon and later on to the Mars. Or I can give one more example about the progressiveness of science. A scientist invented effect that atom is the smallest particle of an element. His invention was highly appreciated and he was awarded with prize. And later on, one scientist came with his invention. He said, no, atom is not the smallest particle of an element. It can be further divided into electron, proton, neutron, and so on. So he was again highly appreciated. His science was again highly appreciated, and he was awarded with prize. What does it mean? Science is progressive. So similarly, like other sciences, the handwriting science is also a progressive science, and we are cope up with the time. See, I am giving an example about the handwriting science. In early 90s, you say in 1910, when the book of question documents written about the question documents, there were no existence of ballpoint pen, and we are not. There were no opinion were given on the ballpoint pen, writing of ballpoint pen or identification of the ballpoint pen. But after 1945, when the ballpoint pen was invented, started giving the opinion on ballpoint pen. So we cope up with the time, we cope up with the new science and technology and procedures, and we are giving the opinion accordingly. And then, what is the next charge against the science? That this science has not its own procedure and techniques, and ultimately this is not a science. Now I am giving friends. Now I am giving you some discussion, or you can we can have some deliberation on this point. If people label this, I cannot use word charge, but suspicion that handwriting science has not its own procedure and techniques, and it is not a science, then sorry, we admit that it is true that we are not having our procedure and techniques. Whatever techniques and procedure we adopt, it is borrowed from the other basic sciences. If this technique and science, this technique and procedures is very much flawless, it is very much, reliable for physics, then it is reliable for the other sciences also. Because I am using the procedure and the techniques of the basic sciences. Now, sorry, here I am comparing with physics. See, if we have a letter, suppose there is a letter A, and I have to measure the length of the stroke. Or if there is letter C, I have to measure the curve. If there is if I have to measure the angle. So what we need? We need a scale, curve meter. From where I got it? I get it from physics. So if I am giving the opinion, by using the scale of physics or curvometer of physics, so if the procedure and the instrument is correct, so my opinion will be correct. Otherwise, if my opinion under suspicion is kept under suspicion, then the procedure is not so acceptable. Similarly, in chemistry, what happened? Sometimes we are examining a document for determining the age of document. So we need to analyze the ink with respect of time. In that case, we use the chemical analysis, and this chemical analysis is basically a procedure and the technique of chemistry. This is a basic science, is a reliable science. And if we are using the technique of chemistry for analyzing the ink, I think if the technique is correct, our opinion will also be correct. Now next is biology. See, sometimes what happened, the code not permit us to destroy the document by picking the pinch of ink from the writing. So in this case, we are going for paper analysis to determining the age of document. So in case we determining the age of document through paper analysis, through fiber analysis, we have to adopt the procedure of botany, paper analysis technique. And if this technique is correct, so our finding will be correct. If our finding if our finding is disbelieved, it means the technique is not so correct, or not, it is not believable. Now next, we are using the basic science procedure or techniques of basic science is maths. Many a time people came across with this question that why the two persons of this world cannot match perfectly in writing style. So we can, we agree with their contention, and we just give an example by using maths, the law of probability. See, if I agree with this fact that occurrence of a letter in two persons is, you can say after 19%, the execution and formation of writing of letter A is similar in two persons. So probability of finding a letter similar in two persons is 1/20. So again, we take another letter. Suppose this is letter B, and we are taking another 20%. So again, the probability is 1/20. And if we will get 3 or 4 or you can 10 such type of writing characteristics, you will cross all the population of the world and you will not find the 2% which match perfectly in their writing style. Now, engineering, you see the all the instrument optics we are using for examination, the detection, examination of question documents, analysis of handwriting, detection of forgery, differentiation of ink, or eraser, obliteration. We are using optics, which is well built in the instrument, governed by the engineering principles of the and procedure of the engineering science. Now, medical science. As you know, as I told you, this handwriting is very much related with the medical science. As a neuromuscular coordination, we explain number of things on this basis of this science. So I am just concluding. I am taking 2 minutes more. See, what I personally think in the context of science and art, I am telling you my personal view that there is no pure science. By the same time, there is no pure art. They are supplementary to each other. Each science has some art, and each art has some science. And I am just giving you the example. See, if a doctor going for to operate a patient, what he has to do? He has to make, first of all, he has to make a precise cut on the human body to how it is, how will it will be long, how will it will be deep. It is a handiwork and it is an art. But after opening the body, to which nerves connected to which nerve or artery to which artery, it is a science for which he is he is in capacity of science. He is there. Similarly, in case of botany, what happened in the botany, we used to no, to get the information about the plant, we have to make you can say a cross section of the stem of a plant. To cut a stem, to cut a slice of a stem is an art, and to see this slice in a microscope and study and make a scientific study is a science. And at last, about handwriting, you can say the same thing is applied in the handwriting. Handwriting, if you are going in for, if you abide by the formation is to some extent it is art. But if you explain how a letter is formed, it is a science. So जो लेटर का आकार है वो उसका आर्ट है, और जो उसका प्रकार है वो किस प्रकार से बनाए, it is in science. And the ultimately I conclude with this, that procedure should be flawless. If the procedure is flawless, there is no question of raising the suspicion on the finding of the time for interval.
Yes, sir. We can take a short break for 5 minutes.
Thank you. After completion, the first part regarding the principle and procedures, what we are using in examination of question documents. Now, this is the concluding part, evidential value of document expert. This finding of document expert is admissible by the court because it has the scientific basis, as I told you earlier. The finding of document expert is always based on the principle and ethics. It is well defined in our science. And we use the reliable procedures and techniques even from the other sciences also. This is not simply an opinion. See, I am telling you one thing. You see, this is not simply opinion evidence, but it is expert evidence. It is expert evidence means the opinion is supported by reasons and illustrations. And examination in our laboratories is made by the qualified, trained, experienced professionals. We are not compromising with this skill. Now, see, on this basis, what we are able to do with the criminal justice agencies, we provide direction to investigation to police. We are able to provide evidence for prosecution, and we assist judiciary to reach to a conclusion. Now, nature of evidence, it is, see, the evidence of a document is scientific, it is accurate, it is relevant, and at the last but not the least, it is non-hostile. This is a big problem for before the court. Most of the witnesses become hostile. Now, wide range of opinion. In which areas we are giving opinion and it is acceptable. See, examination of handwriting signatures, identification or elimination of writer, identification of typewriting, printed matter, detection of forgery, opinion on fraudulent addition and alterations, estimation of age, estimation of age of writer, examination of anonymous letter, paper and ink analysis, sequencing of writing strokes, sequencing of writing and fold, visualization and examination of intended writing, restoration and decipherment of charted document, examination of rubber and seal impressions, and examination of counterfeiting of currency. In all cases, we are using the scientific processes apart from the basic need of a document expert, that is observation, application of intelligence, logic, reasoning, analysis, with the combined efforts of all these qualities and the principle and procedures, we are able to give the definite opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the knowledgeable lecture related to scientific dimensions of question. Mohinder Singh, sir, former government examiner, question document, Directorate of Forensic Science, Government of India. Shri Rajendra Verma, sir, additional state examiner of question document, Government of MP. Dr. Kavita Sharma, coordinator, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science. Dr. MP Gautam, senior professor, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, and respected academicians. It's my pleasure to announce that we are having enthusiastic response from our participants in this 5-day program of FDP 2020. Now, moving forward, I would like to invite Dr. Kavita Sharma, coordinator, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, to present the report of the Faculty Development Program 2020. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Archana. Respected speakers, Shri Mohinder sir, former government examiner of question document, Directorate of Forensic Science Services, Government of India. Shri Rajendra sir, additional state examiner of question document, Government of MP. Dr. MP Gautam sir, professor, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, and dear participants from different regions and professions across the nation. Friends, I would like to share one thing that our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajendra sir, always thinks about all-round development of students as well as faculty members. If faculty members keep update themselves towards latest trends and technologies in their respective field, then students automatically will be benefited. So, in this segment, we used to organize faculty development programs every year since 2016. In this sequence, 5 days long faculty development program was organized by the National Institute of Forensic Science from 7th to 11th August 2020. Faculty from institutions across the different states of India participated in this program. The goal of the program was to enhance knowledge and skills in the technologies and research in forensic document examination. This faculty development program covered various aspects of document examination, its legal aspects, as well as the real case studies that was shared by the eminent speakers. I am glad to share that we have got cooperation from resource persons with full of knowledge and enthusiasm to shower the knowledge. Shri Mohinder sir and Shri Rajendra Verma sir. All the faculties attended the session, showed great enthusiasm throughout the event. Total 90 academicians from different industries and institutions across India were present in the faculty development program. In each session, around 40 to 50 were engaged with us. I can understand some of the faculty members was unable to attend all the sessions due to their important assigned tasks, but I'm happy to see the presence of all the participants with full of interest. After the inauguration on 7th July, the first technical session was dedicated towards the general overview of question document examination by Shri Mohinder sir, where he explained a long way journey of document in a short span. On the second day, the speaker, Mohinder sir, shared that how handwriting of a person can be identified and discussed about the principles of handwriting examination and forgery detection. On day 3, Shri Rajendra Verma sir has discussed about the detailed procedure that is to be followed during document examination and how a document examiner furnishes the report. Some very interesting case studies were also shared during the talk. Next day, Mohinder sir talked about types of forgeries related to signature and how forged signatures is to be identified. Along with this, he also practically explained about how signature of a suspected and real person can be compared by different techniques like incident light, UV light, or from VSC. On the last day, that is today, Shri Rajendra Verma highlighted the scientific credibility of a document and how a document has acquired its own importance as an evidence. Thank you, sir. There was a question answer session at the end of the session every day where participants discussed with the speakers their queries. Feedback of participants during the sessions also revealed that the program is perfect blend of technical knowledge on document examination. We received an overwhelming response from participants. The 5 days FDP on forensic document examination, principles and practices. The 5 days event came to an end with a valedictory session raised by both the eminent speakers, Shri Mohinder sir and Shri Rajendra Verma sir, along with Professor SVIFS Dr. MP Gautam sir. I personally felt that this faculty development program fulfilled its prime objectives to bring the faculties from different states and the persons from other professions like from law enforcement agencies onto one platform to update with the advances in such a fascinating question document field. all the sessions were very informative. The discussed areas are of great benefit to the participants as the topics match with the academic curriculum. I yesterday also shared that all these sessions is from, because before organizing this program, we have shared the forensic science question document curriculum with our speakers. So they have tried their level best to incorporate all the required things. So I'm sure this program will be benefited for all the faculty members to upgrade themselves related to practical fields, and always also for the researchers to know the important things in this question document area. I, Dr. Kavita Sharma, on behalf of all Faculty Development Program team and SVIFS fraternity, heartily thank to all the speakers as well as to all the participants from different backgrounds who spared their valuable time and joined with us in this 5-day FDP. I also thank to the technical team who worked all the way to make this event a grand success. With this, I rest my words, but before that, I request to all the participants that please switch on their videos so that we can have a virtual group photograph for remembrance. I request you to please switch on your cameras. All the participants, we request you all that we can have a group photograph for the remembrance.
Yes, ma'am. Most of the participants have switched on the camera.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would take the privilege to please, before speaking, switch on your mic.
Yes, ma'am. I can share.
Yes, sir.
You can.
Respected dignitaries, myself Dinesh Kamble as a faculty member of SVIFS. I really enjoyed the EDP. It has been insightful and I like the way both the eminent speaker delivered. Mohinder Singh sir and Rajendra sir delivered the contents as the reality of today's document examination needed, and expert need to acknowledge all the procedures and practices as you taught in 5 days. As academic point of view, I am an academicians, so I acknowledge all your practices and procedures, and that practices I will incorporate in my teaching also. So all the sessions are very insightful and knowledgeable. So that thank you very much, the eminent speakers, for giving me valuable sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other participant? Dear faculties, if any want to share.
Should I speak, sir?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Myself, Anurag Sahu, speaking from Government Institute of Forensic Science, Aurangabad. First of all, I would like to say thank and congratulate to team of the Faculty Development Program of the Western University. And because as I know that there are some faculty development program are organized, especially in the field of the question document. So you are the few of them from the field of the question document who's organized such wonderful program to all the professionals regarding the question document field. And second thing I would like to say that the expert content is very good because they share their expertise knowledge in the field of the question document. So it is very good for us to we are fortunate to know something especially new thing about the question document. So from my point, all over the things and all over the program is very good, and I'm very lucky to have such kind of this faculty development program. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm Dr. Lavki Sharwani from Department of Forensic Science, Schwartz. Very warm welcome to all experts and organizers. And I'm very thankful for their esteemed effort and hard work. There is one suggestion from one side, from my side, that if possible, please arrange for a refresher course in forensic science, because no university is arranging such type of program, and faculty members for their promotion, they need a refresher program and orientation program. If possible, please arrange. That is a good one. Huh? And you have capabilities and you have contacts, you can do it well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Now. Definitely we will think of the suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Due to time constraints, we are not able to take all the feedbacks from the participants. Participants are requested to please put their feedbacks in our official WhatsApp group, which has already been formed. So it will be a privilege for us. Now moving towards, I request Mr. Anurag Srivastav, Coordinator FDP 2020, to please propose the words of thanks. Anurag sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, madam. As madam has told that it is shortage of time, so I will conclude my word of thanks in few sentences. Just once A.S. Osborne has said that every question document is a research problem. So let your research mind keep working. And I, Anurag Srivastav, coordinator of FTP 2020, I thank all the participants have joined from different institutes across the nation, and Sri Mahinder Singh sir, Rajendra Prasad sir, for their valuable presentation during the FDP. Upinder Dhar sir, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Kavita Sharma madam, coordinator SVIFS, MP Gautam sir, all the SVIFS committee members, all other persons who have helped us to make this FDP successful by supporting us. I thank again all the academicians. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining with us.